Hello everyone, welcome to IT Learn 360. In this video, I'm going to talk about the data analytics with Python. So basically in this video, I'll talk about what exactly this data analytics is and how we are applying Python on it, what exactly is required to do data analytics. And basically you'll get an overview of data analytics in 10 minutes. Basically you'll get an idea that how this thing is working. So this is for someone who is doing or who wants to know about data analytics, who have just started learning Python or they are doing it for the first time. It's for them. So it's not like I'm doing a complete big project, but I'm just giving you an overview and analysis of what exactly the data analysts look like and how we implement it and how easy it is. So just it's an understanding. So once you get an understanding of this, then you can go and understand it at bigger level. So we'll start with it. First, you need to understand why Python with data analytics. Why not any other language and why we are using Python? So Python for data analytics refers to the use of Python programming language along with its useful libraries. Now, in Python, you have some useful libraries like Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, and Sketchlearn. So basically, you'll be using these libraries to run the codes in Python. So to collect, clean, analyze, visualize, and interpret data. So just for example, like you see, you have a big number of data, like just to take any sales data. So you'll have a data like different products and different sales record of those products. So it's like it's very difficult to basically visualize or understand that what exactly this data contains. So what we are doing through this data analytics using Python, we are trying to collect those data, we are trying to clean it, we are trying to make it as easy as possible. We analyze what exactly the basically the analysis of data is, like when it's growing, when it's dropping, which product is more in sales, and if required, we interpret data, like if any changes required, we do accordingly. So it has become most popular in data analytics domain because of its simplicity, flexibility, and strong community support. Community support because you have these pandas and NumPy, Matplotlib type of libraries available. So it makes very easy. Simplicity and flexible, how it is, you will see when I'll do this thing. Next thing, why Python with data analytics? Because it's easy to learn and use. So I said that because Python syntax is simple and close to a human language. So if you know about Python, you'd know that Python is very easy to understand. It also resolves the complex code and make it simple. Basically, it focus on business problem. Rich ecosystems of library, pandas for data manipulations and analysis, NumPy. So we have pandas ecosystem. I mean by the libraries. What are the libraries and how it help us? So if we talk about pandas, panda is basically used for data manipulation and analysis. You get an analysis using this panda. NumPy for numerical operations, like if you want to do, you want to add to set of data or you want to remove some data, so there NumPy will help you. Matplotlib basically help you to uh, create the pie chart or basically more you want with the graphical representation. So you'll have this Matplotlib. Sketchlearn for machine learning and predict analysis. Now here through machine learning, now when you have analyzed data, if you want to predict some analysis like, okay, this particular sector will grow or this will go down. So these type of analysis you can do through this Sketchlearn. Now, versatile across domains, like used for exploratory data analysis, statical modeling, reporting, machine learning, and even big data. So if you go, like it has a big domain where it works in, you can work with different sectors like with finance, healthcare, e-commerce, marketing. So basically you can apply this data analytics in a lot of sections. Strong community support, I talked about this before. Integrating capabilities like integrate with database, you can straight away pick the data from the database. Again, in big data tools like Hadoop, Spark, all and cloud platform, all this we can apply through Python, and through using these libraries we can apply on these database too. So not only the Excel sheets, we can work on the database also. We can integrate database while doing data analytics. That's basically an overview. So why we are using Python? Because Python makes it more easier. So if you see, if all these points, whatever I've talked about, if these are implemented in data analytics, it will make your task easy. Now, this is just an overview of us talking about with what Python with data analytics, why we are applying Python with data analytics. Now what we are going to see is just you'll get an idea. Now, whatever, if I talk in theory, it will be like just a theoretical thing. Now I'm moving to the practical. So what I'll do is I'll take a simple Excel sheet, a sales Excel sheet, and that has a lot of data. So I'm not going to do deep into it, but just I'll give you an overview through which you can analyze or through which you can easily understand what exactly the data analytics means and what exactly we are doing in data analysis. So how it's making simpler. So whatever points I've discussed till now, how those points are really we are applying, we'll see that. So it's step by step. Like first thing it says load your first data set. So what I'm going to do is, see, in Python, you have a online platform that is called Jupyter. In this platform, you can go, you can open the platform straight away. You click on this try option and you open this platform Jupyter Lab. So this is online platform where you can see things happening at this at that time itself. Like usually if you are working on some particular PyCharm or in other IDE, so what happens in that case is you have to wait for the outcomes. You'll write code once and then you will run it and then you'll get the expected output. So that's the thing. Basically, you have to write more and then you get the outcomes one by one, or like you get at once you get the outcome. But in Jupyter, it's like here we for learning purpose we use Jupyter because here it becomes easy. Whatever you do, you see at that very time itself, and you can easily find the get the output there itself. So we'll see that. So for this, I'm taking the notebook, the Python one, because I'm using Python. And for the timing, I will name it as, do right click here and rename is it uh, data analysis project. Now here I have one this sample sales.csv file. Now this is one of the CSV file that I have. I'll be sharing you this CSV file if you want to study more into it. Now just I'll show you what this CSV file contains. So basically you have a row ID, you have an order ID, you have order date, you have ship date, ship mode, customer ID, customer name, segments, country, city, states, postal code, religion, product ID, category, subcategory, product, sales, quantity, discount, and profit. So, so many fields you have. And if you see this data, if you go to the bottom of this data, you will see you have 994, 9,994 data. Now, this is a huge data. If in this data, if I talk about any one particular field, like just for example, if I talk about this section, saying that tell me that what is the profit scenario. Now, every category is like you have categories like office supplies, technologies, furnitures. There are different categories. And if I ask you about the profit of those categories, if I tell you that tell me the profit in every particular categories like office supplies separately, technology separately, and again, furniture separately, what is my profit percentage? Then it's very hard to analyze 994, 9,900 data in quick time. If you do manually this thing, you will take many days to track the data one by one, do the calculation, and then you analyze that, oh, the profit is in this section. But the same thing when I'll be doing in real time using Python, and when I'll be using the Panda, then you will see that this can be done in a minute or a second of time. Just you have to understand the test case, what you are working on. So basically, this is a huge data, and in this huge data, I will apply few methods, I'll apply few concepts, and I'll just show you the data analytics, how I'm doing it and how it makes easy. So I guess this data is good enough to understand that what a huge, how you can easily track down a big data and do the analysis. That means you can just analyze this data, make a proper report of this data in a very few seconds. Now let's start doing this. So first thing is this is a CSV file. So first thing we need to know is to load this data. So here it says that you have to write first few lines like this. Sorry. Import pandas as PD, and again, so basically you have to write these lines. When you are doing this, you have to write these lines. When you write it, then basically it helps you to load data. So here I'll write these lines. So first line I write import pandas as PD. So pandas is a library in Python. So I'm just importing that pandas and I have named it as PD. By using this panda, I call the method read CSV. So when I say read CSV, this is my CSV file name, sales sample sales.csv, and this CSV file I'm trying to read. Now, using this method, this function, you get the CSV file. Now I want to print this CSV file. Just I want to see whether the CSV file is loaded or not. So you see the run button here where my mouse is right now. Click on this and you will see that this data is readed. So when I write print data.head, so basically it will read the CSV file and it will print you the data. So the one that I was showing you, it shows it here. Now all the categories are here, but you don't have the complete data. So if you say, just for example, by default, when you say head, we don't pass any number. By default, head gives you the first 5 datas from the Excel sheet. So all the first 5 datas are here. So if you want that, okay, I want at least 10 datas, then just pass the value 10, run it this. So you see it gives you 10 datas, first 10 datas. So this basically data.head is used to basically head is used to read the Excel file for the first 5 Excel datas. So all the datas are loaded. That means all the datas are loaded and it's mentioned here 10 rows and 21 column. You have 10 rows here and 21 columns in this sheet. So this is how we load the data. The first thing what we are doing here is we are trying to load data. That's done here. Next thing what we are going to do here is, so this is how you load the data set. Next thing, now we will use some key pandas command. So I'll go through each and every command one by one, and also I'll give you a proper explanation of each commands. So first one is here I say data. Now in data I have the Excel file. So here I have stored data is in this data I have the Excel file. So I say data.info and just I click run. So it gives me an info of this data, the complete analysis. Now you see here I'm getting the info of data in terms of like every columns has a different data. Like in every columns you have data. Basically some will be with numbers, some will be with date, someone will be like float data, that means decimal data. So normally the data are in form of objects. You see data type, it says object because Python works everything in form of objects and class. But the first one, like in row ID, if you notice, no ID, row ID, you have only integer data, that is numeric data. So that's why it's mentioned int 64. That's what numeric data. Now in column, if you have data with that's not in numeric form or in mix, like maybe numeric and again some places it will be a naming form. So in that case, it says it gives a common data type, that is object. So all are object, where again in postal code it's a numeric data, so int 4. Now when it comes to cells, so in cells you will have data like in decimal form. So if you just see any section here in cells, you see the data are in decimal form. So that's why the data type name is float. Again, when it comes to profit, again in profits the data can be decimal, so it's float. So basically from here I get an idea that all the columns or all the rows which you have defined here, all those rows are in which form, what type of data it is. Data type is mentioned here. This is the data type. So by this you'll get an idea that okay, this field contains data in this form. So at least you get the first idea, that is this, that the description of data. So that's what data info is. It gives a quick summary of entire data set, what it shows, number of rows and columns, column names and a data type, count of non-null values in each column. So everywhere you see non-null means the fields that's not empty. You have some values fed in that. So that means here it says that every field contains some value. So not a single field is one where you don't have any value. So you get that idea too. So out of 9,000 fields, every field contains some value. You got that thing from here. So that was one thing that it says, a memory uses of data. So basically what it does, what it shows everything. Memory uses, like again, it says 1 point, this much memory is used for this data. 1 MB memory is used for 9,000 data. So it gives you description of that too. Now use case helps you to quickly understand the structure of data, how many entries, which columns have value missing, and whether the data types are appropriate. The same thing what I said. So that's what the first section does. Second one, data.describe. Now just when I'm doing this, just think of doing this manually. So for manually, if you'll be doing the same thing, you would go to every field and you would check each and every data, and then you'd make a report that, okay, this data contains non-null values. Again, this particular row has an integer data only. So you see how much time it will take to go through all 9,900 datas. So it makes it so short just by writing one command. Now the second command I say data.describe. This one is interesting. This one you need to understand properly. Now when I said data.describe, then in that case, if you see, it gives me only limited fields like row ID, postal code, sales, quantity, discount, and profit. Now, if you analyze this data, out of these data, it's giving me the value of only those fields that is in a particular data type, that is either in float or in int form. It's not giving you the data of the object data type. Why is it that so? It's because it is in object form. I said it's not in one way. It's not only integer type or a decimal type. It's both integer and value. Both are there. So that's why it gives you the value in form of this. Basically, it gives you the description. It gives you of only those fields that are in number form. Now, what are these details? So before explaining this, I'll tell you to go through the basic concept, the theory part of this. So in data analytics, here in data describe, when you use this command, generates statistical summary of numerical columns by default. Statistical analytic summary. So statistical summary, what it means? It counts number of non-null value. So when you are getting the first column as count here, so that means it's counting that how many non-null values you have. So the number, if you see here, it's same in all the fields. That means all the fields are similar. None of the field contains a null value. So it only counts the number, the data, that's all. So number of non-value, so remember count, what it does, it counts the number of non-null value, mean. It takes the average. So if you see, row ID is basically number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what row ID is. So, and I have shown you that in Excel, you have 9,994 data. So if you take mean of this, that means mean, you just take an average of this. So this is the value. So this is the value you have. So this, it shows the mean. So basically in every section, it takes the mean. Now this postal code, this is, we don't need anything about the mean related to mean. I guess we don't need any average of this thing, but still we got it. So I guess you know about mean, mode, median. So that's one thing. So it's giving you an average count of the cell, quantity, discount, everything, profit. So by this, you get an idea that, oh, this much of profit I'm doing. This much of my sales is. Now, if you read this sheet in details, you'll get an idea of what exactly we are doing. So mean, what it means, we are just calculating the average. STD is for standard deviation, spread of data. Now, I guess you are familiar with these mean, standard deviations, and minimum value. So minimum value, basically in every field, which is the minimum value. So by this, you can easily track out that which is the minimum value in this field. So you got, okay, someday you had this sales of 0.44400. So you get a mean value. Now, again, based on the percentage analysis, now here it says 25% means first quarterly, 25% of values below this. Again, 50%, again, it says 50% of values above this. So basically you have got a description of your data and as well as a maximum value. So in this field, the maximum value is 994. That's the last data. So again, just for sales, this is your maximum value. Some days your sales was of this number. And profit, someday your profit was of this kind number. So that gives you the maximum value. So you have a minimum value, you have a maximum value, you got a percentage of this, you got an average analysis of this, and you got the count of data. So this command gives you this much of information. And if you study this closely, if you understand this, then at least you have got an overview of your fields that are important to you. So in a sales data, basically in sales, AD sales data, you need a sales folder, quantity, discount, profit. These are the sections that helps you to analyze your profit loss, your business. So those details are provided here. Now, next one is data column dot value count. So here data column dot value count, what we are doing here is we go to a particular column, and in that column we count the values. So count unique values in specific columns. Now I'll show you. Data dot, here I'll say data dot, I'll pass the column name. Say I pass the column name as sales. Okay. And I say value counts. Okay. That's how we do. Now let me run this. Sorry. Oh, I've given dot. It's not required. By mistake, I gave dot. So you see here, I say in data cells, give me the value count. Now, what value count it's giving me? So you have 56 datas with the value count as 12.9.60. So this, with this data value, 12.9.60, this data value, you have 56 counts. So if you look into the sales section, where's the sales section? Yeah. So in 12.96, you see this data? So it gives you count of this, that at least you have 12.960. This value count, you have 56 datas. 19.40440s count. This value count is 39. So this, it gives you the count of the values that are in that 9,000 datas. You have this many values, and these values appears this many times. So that's one thing. If the same thing you change with profit, you'll understand better. So what it says, 65 times you have a zero profit value. 43 times you have 6.2008 profit value. So now just through this data, if you do calculation, you'll get the idea of your profit, which you have got it here as a mean, or you can average, or whatever the standard deviation is, basically talking about the average. You got that thing. So understand, you get through this value count, you get that. So now you have an idea that how many days or how many times basically I had no profit. And what is my profit? This is my some profit, and like you get an idea of this. So it gives count, length, this much, and data type is all integer. So you have got the data here. So basically just going through this data, you'll get an idea overview that, oh, this is how much, like these many days. So maximum days is like I have no profit. So that's how you can think. That's how you think basically. So that's what this value count does. Each unique value is in column, number of times it appeared, sorted by default in descending order, from lower to greater. Great for categorical data analytics. So you see what I'm doing right now, data analytics, what it's doing this is making your data that easy for you. Now, a small case study I'm doing. Like this is a case study basically you'll get when you'll be doing data analytics. It's saying that group two categories. So I'm grouping two categories, one for sales for I'm categorizing the two fields here from this Excel sheet, one categories. These are the categories: office supplies, technologies, furniture. These are the three categories here. Basically throughout the data, you will find these three categories here, and one will be furnitures. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I will try to group this particular sheet, this particular column, categories, with the column profit, this one. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to merge them. That's what I'm trying to do. And then I will create a report, as it says here, that first which product has the highest revenue. So first I will merge these two columns, and then I will then I'll create an analysis that which product has the highest revenue. I hope you understand this case study, what it's saying, that take a product category and give me the revenue of that particular category. So I'll get an idea which product is giving me highest revenue. So let's do this. Just how simple things are here. Just that's what I want to show you in this 10 minutes. I'm not teaching anything like, big or anything great that I'm working on some project. Just I'm giving an idea of that how data analytics looks like, and you understand how this thing is functioning, what exactly we are doing, and what more we can do. You'll get an idea from here too. So I just do sales by profit data.group. So I'm grouping categories column with the profit and I do sum of that. So here I've used the method sum. So when sum means it does the total calculation and gives you. So you see you have three categories in the whole list. One is furniture, office supplies, and technology. So 9,900 data are for only these three categories. Now from these three categories, you can easily figure it out that technology is the one that gives you the highest profit just by this number. Now just imagine if you are doing this thing through the Excel sheet and if you manually calculate this, how much time it will take and in how much second using Python and using certain commands of Pandas, using this Panda library, I got the report of this. In 2 lines of code, I got the report of such huge data. So now I hope you'd be understanding what exactly this data analytics is and what exactly it's doing. So I guess it's clear you're getting close to it that basically you're getting an idea of data analytics. Now, this thing, whatever you have analyzed, this thing you want to express in form of chart. That's what Matplotlib is used for. So I said I'll be using certain libraries. So I picked two libraries, one Pandas, another one Matplotlib. So I want to see this thing in a bar form, or basically I want to see in a chart form. So I'll write code for this. That will help me to do this thing is, that will help me to represent this thing in form of chart. So for this, for Pandas, I use this, I import Pandas and then I just gave a name. Here I'm doing the same thing. I'm importing Matplotlib. Inside that I'm using pyplot. And again, now here the data, which data? Category datas. I'm counting the count of the category data. And then I'm trying to plot in form of which form? Bar form. So when you run this, so this will take some time. What happened? Or it's saying what's wrong? No module named Matplotlib. Oh, there is something wrong with this name. Is it? Let me check. It's good. Nothing is wrong. Just I don't know why it was not. I refreshed it and it's working again. So it import. Now you see these three categories. It's giving you the details. Now it gives you the details. Now you see the category section. So these are the three categories. And sorry. In these three categories. Now it counting the number of times this thing appears because I have given value count. So it counts that how many times this word office supply appears. So just now you have seen the use of value counts. It counts the number of times that things appears. So by this you get an idea that you have sold some around 6,000 products of office supplies because that office supplies appeared 6,000 times. And for furnitures, you have sold something around 2,000. So 2,000 times this furniture came. So 2,000 products of furnitures you have supplied or you have sold. And technologies, it's less than 2,000. But the profit here matters. Maybe the costing is different of all. So at least you got an idea from this that this many products you have supplied, this many amount of products you have supplied, this many amounts of product you have in this category, this many amount of products you have sold. So by this value count, I got that, and that thing I have basically I have this thing I have represented in form of bar. So here by value count, you got this, the number, but here the same number, I have just brought it in form of chart. So nothing, Pandas made things easier. Matplotlib made it make it more easier, more visual. So you see visualization, how easy and cleaning it becomes. So it's making more visual now. It's more readable and understandable. It will be easy to understand that, oh, this is getting more easier and easier. So you see the visualization of data, how we are breaking the data slowly and slowly. and how this data analytics things, how this Python, how these libraries are making the data analytics so easy. So it's breaking it in so simpler form and it's making it easy for us to understand. So I hope through this few example, through this thing, you have got an idea of data analytics, how exactly it looks, what exactly it's doing, and what exactly it's bringing out. So this is just a glimpse of it. I've made this video just to make you familiar with this thing so that you understand this better. You get an idea of data analytics. If you are using it for the first time, you get a complete idea that, okay, this is what data analytics is and this is how it works. So it's just for the information purpose. Now later I'll be making videos where you'll be seeing that I'll be doing a proper project on this and you'll get a better idea of how exactly it's executing. So it's just for an idea purpose that how data analytics use and how it's functioning. That's all in this video section. See you in next section with new topics. So I'll be bringing more of these type of topics, more of the information things. Once you get information, then I'll start building a proper codes on them. So I hope you enjoy this series. See you then. Bye-bye. Thank you.